Welcome back, everyone. Apologize for the little break, but we're freshened up, and Doug's got taken care of his little dog, and we're back. So we were just discussing, some of the things we want to see happen on the show, and goals we have for the show, and why we're here, and what we want to have happen for you, mostly our viewers, with Doug's background and my background, and we put that together. I figured it out, Doug. We have about 135 years of life experience on the planet, just between the two of us.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And let's get it out of us and out there and available.
Right.
My philosophy has been I want to give people something even if they can't stay for the show.
Right.
I when I go present my work, I always I meet everybody beforehand so that
Me too.
if they have to leave, they have something from me that they can take with them.
Right.
Right? And so right now, you and I have something special to share with people. It's logical, it's science backed, it supports their mental health, it helps their kids, their family, their relationships, their communication.
Hmm.
So that's what we want to do now is just share it with people, and the way they want to receive it is important to us. So the way you want to receive this message is really important. If it's too complicated or you don't want to do it a certain way, just let us know, and we'll plug you in and make sure that you get informed.
Right on. Well, I was just about to say, with all due respect to our educational system and the teachers in it, do you know, Doug, as a young woman, fresh out of college, my first teaching assignment, I taught for 15 years till until 1984. I was yet to hear the word self-esteem, self-worth, self-love. Those
Mm.
weren't even words in our vocabulary. So, for example, if I had a student that I really was thriving and doing terrific and all that, and they came in the next day, and all of a sudden there was a big shift, and I noticed it, I couldn't really do much because I didn't have the information or the training to connect with. They may have just had a trauma at home.
You wouldn't know the first question to ask them, probably, right?
No, not at
Yeah,
all. Not
yeah.
at all. So for a long time, the word self-esteem, self-worth, that became a buzzword not until the late 80s, early 90s. So this was a very fresh, uncharted territory when
Hmm.
I decided that, this is the path I wanted to go on, to inform people that that is their birthright, your ability to feel valued and so on. So, that's just a little history, but that's how new this is. It's not, and the work that you do, this is alternative work. This is work that's outside the box. Does that make
Well,
sense?
and people have to. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be this way till the end of time. If the pain isn't great enough,
Right.
or you're not aware enough to see the pain coming, then it's unlikely you're gonna. The chances of you putting your hand up are very, very low, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But if you know you're in pain, or you're one of those people who's a high performer and is already performing high and wants to notch it up even more because you're either getting better or you're getting worse. There's no inertia. Don't fool yourself. Um, then come and talk to us. Like
Hmm.
just open up and let us see a picture of what it is in your life, and we can just help you walk through it. And it's really talking through it, and it doesn't take very long to identify where the challenges are.
No, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So back to the show. So we want to help others. We want to be able to provide good information, rich content. I'm all about content. I hear so many people talking, smoke out their butt.
Hmm.
Um, this is the real deal in terms of the work's been done, the research has been done, the we've had successful outcomes with our clients over the years. 30 years, 30 years. No,
It's called being in my world. It's called being in the ready position,
okay,
right? So if somebody runs into you, you're stable,
yeah,
right? And then if you got to take off quick, you're in that position, ready
hmm,
position. And I
hmm,
think that's where we are with the content to serve the masses, the tsunami that's coming. And don't hesitate. I taught my kids something from a book by David Scott. On the plains of hesitation lie the bleached bones of thousands. On the verge of victory, sat down to rest, and while resting, died. Right? On the
Absolutely.
plains of hesitation lie the bleached bones of thousands who, while on the verge of victory, sat down to rest, and while resting, died.
Hmm.
Right? We're all that far. We're all 3 feet from gold, gang.
Yeah.
So let us get you going in the right direction, get you going in the positive direction. It'd be our pleasure.
I would like for you to expand on that word that you use, tsunami. Um,
Hmm.
we all know what a physical tsunami is when the ocean comes rushing in. So,
Hmm.
what kind of tsunami are you talking about, Doug?
Wow, baby boomer tsunami,
Oh,
and a tsunami from the pandemic. Because if you
okay.
look at the aftermath of 9/11, you'll see how the amygdala in the brain gets shrunk by that type of trauma. Every amygdala in the world got shrunk. And if you look at what the amygdala does, and I won't get into it with you, but you'll see that it causes quite a problem to society. There's still a lot of people that are still not coming outside.
I know from
It's
COVID.
just the numbers are absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the tsunami's coming from, of course, the baby boomers, which it's obvious there's going to be 3 million extra patients. We don't have enough doctors and nurses for the patients we have now. There's going to be 3 million extra ones just in Canada. That means there'll be 50 million, 100 million in the United States, and they all got to pay for it. So what's going to fill that hole? Well, in my opinion, it's us being smarter. I mean, the whole population needs to get smarter. They can't keep pulling the wool over their eyes and saying it's not going to happen. Now everybody realizes it's going to happen. And so the data is there to support it. Sticking your head in the ground is not going to make any difference for your kids. I can promise
No,
you that, right?
no,
Because they're going to be left with this burden. And if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to leave yourself with them, to burden them. And so it's time for us to get the mind leads the body and the mind heals the body. That's substantiated. Harvard University, Herbert Benson. I've been down to Penn State. I've been in the labs. I've seen this stuff. We it's very clear where we're going on the cutting edge. We just want to I just want to get that information in people's hands so that they can start making better decisions right now with the thing that's between their ears.
exactly, exactly. Well, ancient quote: "What a man thinketh, so he becometh."
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Very
Yes.
much so. Very much
Mhm,
so.
mhm. Yeah, for sure. And back to the show, there's different ways that I'd love us to talk about how our viewers can support the show because we can't do this by ourselves, and we'd be silly to think we can, even though you're Mr. Eagle and I'm Miss Eagle. We're pretty informed and pretty with it, and there were 76 million baby boomers born, so we're the biggest piece of the population, and we're all aging too, right?
Hmm.
So that's creating some havoc. Although I was speaking with my mom the other day, 91, and she said um, my nephew had asked her, "So when is Aunt?" Because he was there visiting, and he said, "So when's Auntie going to retire?" And I could hear him in the background. Ask her, Grammy, when is Auntie going to retire? And my mom said, there's no point in asking Auntie that because that word's not even in her vocabulary. Because everybody
Oh,
else in my family, younger, they're all retired.
yeah.
So,
That's funny. That
yeah,
really is funny. Retired. I'm not sure what it means. So my work's based on a principle of priorities. So meeting basic needs, clarity of thought, and helping other people. So does retirement mean that you stop helping other people? Does it mean you start helping more people? I'm not
or
sure. Like
or you go on the streets because you don't have a house anymore.
I,
Right.
I don't know.
I
Like
just, yeah,
retiring from meeting basic needs, working
yeah,
on clarity of thought, and helping other people. Is that what
yeah,
you mean by retirement?
yeah, exactly. I
Because
guess.
if you stop doing that, do you know how slippery the slide is?
Oh,
It's
yes, I
very,
do.
very slippery.
I do. I do.
Hopefully, in the show, at some point, I'll get a chance to show, like when I broke my neck, I had 3 surgeries, and then I was paralyzed in the third surgery, and I lived in the rehab center. I lived in a hospital bed for almost a year. But the journey, the 13-year journey to skate again, I was also working with my hands, so I became a really good juggler. I became a frisbee aficionado. I only have one finger I can use on this hand because I have no extension strength, right? So when you
Okay.
suffer a spinal cord injury, it causes you to close like a flower.
Oh, wow.
So you lose all your ability to open. And so I'm left with this hand that I only have feeling in the thumb and the finger, and these just get in the way. But I've used to I've managed to get really good at managing the frisbee with just two fingers now. So I
Wow.
we'll open it up, and I'll stand over there and do some stuff in a show maybe if
That'd
people
be
are looking
great.
for dog and pony tricks. You know what I
There
mean?
you go. I have a few of those myself. That's so
I
cool.
actually skated with my grandson, went out on the outdoor rink this past weekend. I could hardly get out of bed the next day because I wanted to show him like how I could really open it up, you know.
Yeah.
And I haven't been on skates and skating for about a year and a half, two
Uh-huh.
years, and it just I muscles that you don't use. You know, I ended up just I'm just getting better now. It's been 5 days, so I either got to take it easy when I'm out there, which is really hard for my brain, or not put my skates on at all. Right? I mean, that's what my wife says. Don't put the skates on. She
Yeah.
says because when you put your skates on, you don't feel any pain. She says
Wow.
it's unbelievable. She says you lose your mind. You cut off all the pain. Like, and so when you go out there, you could have your a leg and an arm hanging off. I'd still be trying to bite the
Yeah,
guy's ankles. You know.
exactly. All right. I don't think we'll take a break, Lewis, because we had a break already, and we'll just keep on talking while we're here on the air, and that'll be good. So
What do
let's
you want
talk.
to What do you want to talk about?
I
You
want
know.
I, I want to talk about informing our viewers how they can support the show because we
Oh,
we started saying we can't do this by ourselves.
yes.
So the first request I have, and there was a time I wouldn't ask anybody to do anything. How's that for growth? Um, is to share the show because there may be someone because behind every person there's 250 others.
Mm,
They say when you pass away, there will be 250 people on the average show up to pay their respects.
mm.
So you have people behind you, around you, and beside you who may never hear about the show except through you. So you're the gateway. So sharing the show with your friends, because there may be something that Doug says or I say that could actually change that person's direction. That's been our experience talking now. Isn't that
Yes.
right, Doug?
Oh my God. You know, I get notices from people.
All the time.
I'll get three this week where it's like, I couldn't have done it without you. Uh, you know, and then I read from there. And
Yeah.
I'm just, it brings tears to my eyes. I
Yeah.
read them and I show it to my wife and I go, how could this have happened? You know, like they never would be where they're at if it wasn't for me. And
Right.
you experience the same thing, right?
Yeah, except I take it a little, I don't want to, get that sort of big hit about me, but I know I've saved people's lives. I know it. But what I like them to know is that they did the work to save their own life. I just
Yeah.
showed them how to,
Very
just
good
like
point.
you. You show them how to. I didn't save their life, they saved their own life because they made a better choice or a better decision.
Yes. Yes.
So we're going to give out lots of nuggets, and so sharing this show is our number one priority, my number one priority.
And by the way, the nuggets are all connected.
That's right,
Yeah.
always.
And you might only get one or two, and you might get four, but in the wrong order.
Yeah,
But what'll happen is you'll end up getting the rest eventually, and you'll end up
yeah,
getting them in the right order.
in the right
And
order.
that's really what happens. It's a slow sort of push that wheel because we're all on a downhill run, and some of us just don't know it.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
We all have a downhill. If you get out of bed in the morning, you're on a downhill path. Come on. It's not flat, it's downhill. We're good.
Well, I have a story about getting out of bed every morning. I get out of bed,
Yeah.
I wake up, I sit on the side of the bed for 10 seconds, and then I stand up. And then I hear a voice that says, I go, thank you, God, for giving me another day. And then I hear another voice that says, Oh crap, she's still alive.
Oh, I love it. And
Yeah.
then you take your
So
first step.
yeah.
Yeah.
So first step. So share the show. The second thing is if you have a small business, a home-based business that you are wanting to promote, get out there, this would be a perfect place for you to have an inexpensive way to advertise with us. So that can be short term. And, maybe you want to advertise for one episode or 3 episodes or 4 episodes. You contact me and I'm going to, if there's a way to put my number up somewhere, but they will do it when they edit the show, 780 909 8571. And that's a phone I have strictly for the show and business connections. So,
Say it one more time, please,
yeah, I
Lori,
will.
just slowly.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's people waiting.
780 909 8571. You can text me on that number or phone me. And so, advertisers, we need money to help keep the show on the air. Kind of sound like PBS right now. And then sponsorships, which might be for a year. So a larger corporation or a larger organization might want to be featured every 15 minutes on the show. That's why we take that 15-minute break at the quarter of the hour and down, because we've reserved time there to promote you and what you do and your business. We're also in the market for guests who want to come on and share their story
Hmm.
in the world of sports, our
Mhm.
veterans, um, other people who have connections to sports or veterans, and we're not restricting you to that.
Mhm.
We're also going to bring on specialists, medical people,
It
experts in their
it doesn't
field.
have to be they
No,
don't have to be it doesn't have to be
an athlete.
professional
No,
sports.
no,
We're looking for that story,
that's right.
um, of I'll give you an example. Just this is somebody that I work with. We want to hear the story of the girl hockey player who was so good, such a good goalie. She got to play with the boys the next year, and then when she decided she wanted to be the best girl goalie and wanted to go back to the girls' league, they wouldn't let her.
Yeah.
We
Can
could
you
talk
imagine?
about that. Yeah, they
Yeah.
wouldn't let her. It was unbelievable, and just imagine the precedence, and so it
Yeah.
actually
Any kind of
destroyed
story.
it
Sure.
destroyed this girl's whole. She could have been a top goalie in the league right now. She probably would have been, and it completely destroyed her because they wouldn't let her go back to the girls' game.
Right. And see, that's trauma.
Oh, heavy,
Oh, big
heavy
time.
duty.
We have about 4 minutes left before the end of the show, Doug. So those are some of the things we're looking for, but we want to have exciting guests. And I can also envision us doing some panel work. So, we bring in 3 or 4 people, and Doug and I pose questions and allow the panel to answer. There's all different kinds of ways the show can configure. And there will be those times when you're just going to have to stand Doug and I together alone uh, for whatever reason.
Oh, we're gonna have
Right?
some cool
Yeah,
guests,
cool
but
stories.
I'd
And
like to
all
I'd like to hear from everybody too about who
yeah,
they want
you
to
bet.
see.
You bet. Doug, give out your information again so people know how to reach you personally before
Oh,
we
you
go.
can find me at DougSmithPerformance.com. So
Mhm,
Doug Smith is about performance. That's what I do.
mhm.
And if you want my new relaxation meditation, I'm releasing a series with partners out of Alberta, and you can find that at DougSmithPerformance.com/relax. Get it? And I challenge you. Here's the challenge, Lori. Is
Mhm.
I challenge you to put it on at bedtime, follow the suggestions, and stay
Mhm.
awake. I've been doing. It just came out a month ago. I haven't met anybody who's been able to stay awake. So sleep is
That's
important,
okay.
right? Getting the
Yeah,
body into a restful state is important. That could be the start of something magnificent. So.
you bet.
Mhm.
All right. Well, we'd like to thank our Vince. Thank you for being here again, and our whole. I just didn't catch the name, but for asking the question about shame, that was awesome. And if you post questions, then we'll address them right here on the show. So you can bring
Hohawk man. Yes.
Mohawk Man, yes.
Yeah. Very nice
You
meeting you.
can post your questions and we can address them right here. So So we're going to say goodbye for now, and we'll talk next week, next Thursday. And looking forward to being here again with you, Doug. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, it was a great time. Everybody have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next week. And I look forward to hearing your ideas. Thanks.
Okay. All right, Lewis, sign us off, please.